With the final season of Stranger Things on the horizon, it feels like the perfect time to finally platinum Stranger Things VR, a game that takes you from Will's disappearance in Season 1 all the way through to Vecna's rise in Season 4. This game ties everything together, but from a completely different angle. You're not running from the horrors of the Upside Down, this time you are the horror. That being said, we do have to play this game on challenge difficulty, so every enemy packs more of a punch and takes more to defeat. And if that wasn't enough, only 6 people worldwide currently have this platinum trophy. So this might just be the rarest platinum I've ever attempted. All of that combines into an experience unlike anything I've ever covered on this channel before. So join me as we step into the Upside Down and earn this ultra rare platinum trophy. Beginning with chapter 1, we're thrown right into the shoes of Henry Creel, which basically means dealing with Papa. You are like Papa.
You are like Papa!
Because nothing says supportive father figure like a man who straps you into a lab chair and conducts experiments on you.
Experiment to understand what you are capable of.
The experiments in question are quite useful for us, as they show us how to use telekinesis and Henry's powers. And Papa, of course, is asking the important questions too.
What was for lunch today?
A chicken and turkey meal deal.
We learn how to launch some objects at a target, which is the entirety of combat in this game. And this is a little bit annoying considering Vecna can literally levitate people and snap every bone in their body, but what do I know? We can also open these portals and listen into some conversations. Maybe some we shouldn't.
But they already fingered the guy.
They already fingered the guy? Sorry?
Papa just wants us to find this Russian spy, which isn't really hard at all.
There you go.
There's actually the first trophy for the game for doing this. The thing is, it seemed they just weren't popping on my headset or on the recording at this time, which was a little annoying, but I did fix this quite quickly.
Hello. Oh. 11 looks possessed. Oh shit. Oh shit, this is the bit where she sends us to the Upside Down.
After reliving that moment where 11 sends us to oblivion, we wake up in Vecna's attic full of trauma and anger.
Keep calling, Will, and I will find you.
Sick.
Your mind is restless, Henry.
This is where the story gets a little confusing, even at this point, because we basically need to enter our own mind and restore control of the hive mind. Something like that. I don't really understand why the Demogorgons are attacking us. It just seems to be the only way they could figure out making them the enemies in this game. Anyway, here's where Project Motion Sickness begins, as you need to fling objects at the monsters, whilst also climbing up like a madman. I really wasn't good at the movement until way later in the game, and it was giving me a workout just climbing up a small rock.
My arms are hurting from doing that. It's a workout. Forget Wii Fit.
The loop is a bit basic because all you do is kill a Demogorgon, snap its limbs, and enter its mind. Once you're in the mind, you need to find your way through this kind of portal and escape. The story in this game has a lot going for it, but this part ain't it. I did earn another trophy which didn't pop properly, but this was just for slamming a stunned Demodog into the floor. The most interesting part of this super long chapter is where we relive some of Henry's family moments. The first being his mother, which is ripped exactly from the show and is just as graphic.
The doctor.
His sister's memory is less graphic, he just chucked some spiders on her, so that's a positive I guess. After reliving some of those moments, there's a part where we just absolutely massacre the Demodogs. Once again, this clunky combat is enough to kill me off physically. Thankfully though, that is the end of the chapter, as Vecna has regained control and senses 11 communicating with Will.
Hello, 11.
Hurry. Will!
This boy is the key we've been waiting for.
Chapter 3, The Possession of Will Byers, November 1984.
And so begins the scariest experience I've ever had in VR, genuinely. Feeling helpless on this bed with the sounds of terror in my eardrums, I was bricking it.
What? Wait. The fuck is that?
What was that?
Will, I heard...
Oh my god.
Oh, were you sleeping?
I actually have
What's
shivers.
wrong with the lights?
It's just the rain. We still have that shitty generator.
I'm actually terrified. Like, this is actually terrifying. I don't like this at all. I really don't like this. What is that? Oh, that's my other hand. No, I'm genuinely terrified. I don't like this. Okay, well at least I can see a bit better. Vecna, please just get me or... Oh my god.
This chapter is just a form of cyberbullying. You're put in the shoes of Will and just made to feel useless. Some familiar faces are here, but they're only there to torment you further.
Oh my god. Did Will just die over and over again? Is that what we're finding out? He's about to throw up, isn't he? Yep. Oh, this is actually terrifying. Alright, the first 2 chapters were a bit weak, but this is actually shitting me up. What am I doing?
Guys!
Oh, it's a spider. Oh, it's on my screen. Okay. Hello, mate.
You think you can escape from me with this?
No, not really.
Let me show you how miserable you really are.
Why is Mike so small? he's so teeny.
No one can run from misery, Will.
Oh,
You are mine.
sick.
This
Chapter 4.
boy will be my spy.
Chapter 4 is more of the same, but instead of just Will, Vecna has 3 more of the gang he wants to mess with. There's not a lot to this chapter, as it's more just watching along than anything. They're all in Mike's basement, and Vecna is spying on them like some wrong'un. The other boys, apart from Will though, are pretty resilient, and they always manage to find a way to kick Vecna out.
Hello, Will.
Your friends are idiots. I'm going to kill them all as slow as I
This game
can.
is so dark. What the fuck?
And it will be all your fault.
Right, and then last one, Lucas. Mind your own business. Finally, the trophy pop-ups are working. Right, attempt to take over every boy's mind in Chapter 4. That one's basically unmissable, I guess.
One of the extremely missable trophies in this game is Gourmet, for eating the hidden edible item in every chapter. Now, some of these are really weird and totally not edible, but this one, the popcorn, is the first one I naturally got. As mentioned, there are only 6 other people who have this platinum, which means no guides exist whatsoever. Thankfully, one of the recent achievers, shout out to Epic Rage, pointed me in the right direction. He helped me with this food trophy and a couple of the other trophies, so he was super handy in getting this platinum trophy. Eventually, Will's nose starts bleeding, and I'm presuming that's Vecna's doing. So once again, we infiltrate his mind. But the power of friendship is strong. Will manages to escape in slightly less dramatic fashion than Max did.
Are you okay, Will?
Are alone.
Yeah, I think so.
Will.
I think so.
Anyway, Vecna's a failure, and he's now forced to relive the moment of him entering the Upside Down again, which begins Chapter 5, the chapter of Vecna's past, and probably the worst chapter in the game.
Chapter 5, Transcending the Human Form, 1979.
We're basically getting the younger Henry Creel's backstory, as he navigates the Upside Down. Eventually, some kind of Shadowbrenner comes to torment us, and that's where it begins.
You can call me Dr. Brenner.
No.
The early stages of the lab experiments do have their moments.
In that cage is an ordinary bird. For our next exercise, I would like you to exterminate it without using any physical objects. Can you do that, Henry? Focus
Quite
on
easily,
the
right?
task at hand. Good job, Henry.
It wasn't even hard.
With pleasure.
Alright, now what?
These types of experiments were your favorites.
Yeah, they are.
You always loved snapping bones.
That being said, the main part of this chapter is where you're just in these sections that honestly look like a bit of a mess. I did earn a trophy here that was just unlocked from plucking these seeds,
Yeah, that gives me seedy, which is plucking 30 explosive seeds.
but the goal in these sections is to make your way to the flower and shoot your Vecna vines into it to sort of take over. And you'll keep doing this until you die or get caught by Papa's shadow and get transported back to one of the previous memories. You need to keep doing this over and over and over. And there is an element of stress to it too, because for the trophy everything's taken, you need to take over all of the monster mines in Chapter 5. Basically meaning you need to do each takeover quickly and without dying too many times, which on challenge difficulty was really taking its toll. I was attempting to get this trophy here, but honestly I was struggling. The fact these environments are so big and there's so much movement in all directions was horrifying. I felt horrendous. So much, I actually had to lie down and just completely stop playing for the day. I came back and tried to continue getting the trophy, but honestly there was no luck. At times, the speed in which you get caught just felt unfair. We didn't earn a trophy here, but we had done enough to fight off the Dream of 11 and Dr. Brenner, and can fight back to take over. Or something like that. It's all a bit convoluted. The Mind Flayer is pretty cool at least.
And I do.
Oh, it's the Mind Flayer.
I will destroy her.
All of this brings us to Chapter 6, the possession of Billy. We're now in season 3 in the show, where Billy is possessed and is gathering people to create the spider monster we see in the mall. It begins with the moment where Billy is taken over, and then we play as him driving between different locations. Or should I say crashing, because I was too busy eating the chocolate for the food trophy to pay attention to the road. This chapter is short and doesn't really have much to it. You're either driving around or feeding people to the monster, and you just keep doing that on repeat. Eventually, 11 taps into Billy just like she did in the show, and that reveals her and the gang's location for the monster to attack them, which swiftly takes us to chapter 7, the shortest and probably most pointless chapter in the game. You're literally just the monster attacking, and there's nothing to it apart from just spamming the L2 and R2 for attacks. And you keep doing this until you manage to hit 11, and now it can torment her.
My leg!
You have lost 11. You have failed your friends. I have taken your power, and I will use it to destroy all you hold dear.
Chapter 8, 11. Oh yeah, we're being flashed back to the facility. Which this does actually happen in season 4, doesn't it?
Well, wow.
Yes.
Look who finally decided to join us.
This chapter is a complete headache. Not for motion sickness this time, just for making no sense whatsoever.
I'm so confused.
You run through corridors, open doors, and just get the same loop of Henry being creepy.
Oh my god.
Why do you cry for them, 11?
It's not all bad. It is cool seeing some of these moments from season 4 of the show, but it ends up just being really repetitive and honestly just super confusing.
Join me.
Am I gonna, like, use my powers?
No.
Or... Yeah.
I can't feel her.
Chapter 9. The Resurrection of Mad Max. One of the most horrendous moments right at the end of season 4. Excellent. I actually felt horrible watching this.
Chapter 9 is the final one of the game, and it's one of the better ones for sure, as it stays very true to season 4 once more. We're playing as 11 running through some of Max's memories, such as skating around and beating up Billy.
Say you understand! Say it! Say it!
I understand.
In the school, I earned a trophy by killing an enemy with one of these spewer heads. And on the dance floor, I defeated one Demobat with another for another trophy.
2 birds with 1 bird. There's the other combat-related trophy.
This chapter is like a culmination of everything in the game so far at this point, so it's quite easy to clean up most of the combat-related trophies. One that's specific to this chapter is Roadkill, for killing 10 enemies with cars, and this drive-in section is where you can unlock that. I actually had a lot of fun in this chapter. It was nice to have graphics that weren't just a complete mess, and the combat seems to work better in this environment too. There was one problem though, so I unfortunately hit a glitch where no matter what I did, I would keep falling through the map and get pushed to the same spot. And when I restarted my game, I thought I got put all the way back to the start of the chapter.
Oh, great. Great. I'm back at the start of the chapter. Cool. Yeah, sweet. That's me done.
It was only the next day when I came back I realised that it did actually just continue from here. And that takes us to the final moments of the game. Max is broken after the death of Billy, and we need to defend her from these imaginary demo dogs and such. Which isn't really hard, it's just a basic combat of picking up and throwing objects at them. But I did manage to get yet another combat-related trophy here, and that was for feeding the tentacle monster 8 times. This one just happens as you kill monsters near the tentacles, as they tend to automatically eat them. After enough are defeated, Max snaps and works with you, but it doesn't matter anyway, as it all goes to shit.
Friends don't lie. I'm stuck. I can't move.
You trap me in a prison.
She's like in this tentacle tower with monsters all running over to her. Guardian Angel asks for you to cleanse Vecna's waves of phantoms without letting Max take any damage. So my understanding of this was just to keep using your powers to make sure none of them reached her. And this is pretty hard, because they just keep on coming. I didn't think it was going to be possible in this difficulty, so I just saved it for easy and carried on to finish the game.
You can't have her! It's okay. It's my turn now. Just whatever happens, promise you'll remember me. Okay?
But Max...
Now get out of here, stupid.
Well. That's the end of the game, innit? Running up that hill, complete the game. Hounds of Love, that is the tricky one for completing it on challenge mode. I didn't get the miscellaneous ones, which is annoying, so I'm going to have to replay quite a bit.
I was dreading the cleanup in this game. There was a couple big trophies left, and like I said, there was no guides, so I was kind of in the dark for this. But to be fair, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I travelled back to chapter 2 and watched a single flashback of Vecna's mum that I previously missed. Dream a little dream, that's what I missed. Watch all of Virginia's memories in the Creole dining room. It was just that last one. I also ate an apple in chapter 1 and a spider in chapter 3 for the gourmet trophy. So stupid. Eat the hidden edible item in every chapter. That's by far the weirdest trophy. Before travelling back to chapter 8 of 11's Nightmare and simply placing this glitchy ass puck in number 3 for another trophy. That's so bad. That's so glitchy. Free throw. It's on the floor as well. Get the chip to land on 3 in Pachinko. And now it was time to run through chapter 5 again and attempt to take over all of the monster mines. I now had the advantage of knowing where the flowers were on most of them, and I had gotten much better at moving around faster, learning to flick and release rather than just holding down. This honestly wasn't so bad. It wasn't that enjoyable, but it didn't take as long as I thought it would to get. Oh my god, I finally got it. Everything's taken. Take over all the monster mines in chapter 5. That trophy sucks. That is like the platinum stopper. And finally, once again, we're at the last chapter and the home stretch of this platinum. Using a recliner chair to defeat my third enemy, I could earn the last combat-related trophy, before reaching the last bit where we have to be Max's guardian angel. I really don't understand how this trophy works. My first attempt was going smoothly, but some of them just run so quick, it's really tricky to stop.
It's an annoying trophy, man. It's an annoying trophy.
And one of the problems is, reloading the checkpoint takes you back to the beginning of the fight and sets you back about 5 minutes every time. On my second attempt, it was more of the same. I seem to have a pretty good strat for covering all angles, but always one or two would seep through.
It's almost impossible.
However, that didn't seem to matter. Maybe it's only the slower ones that matter, but amazingly this happened.
Oh my god. It popped. Guardian Angel. I swear Max took damage. Oh my god. And we get Stranger Things VR Platinum. I feel like I didn't deserve that, but maybe the trophy description isn't what I was doing anyway, so I could finally take this off. Ugh. I feel horrendous.
So, there it is. Number 7 in the world to unlock the Stranger Things VR Platinum. It was an interesting one. With a proper structured guide, this one would have been far easier to obtain and less stressful. But I guess it wasn't so bad, and it did have its good moments. Thank you for watching this far, and if you did enjoy, hitting that like button or subscribing really goes a long way. And as always, a huge shout out to my channel members for their continued support. Let me know down below your thoughts for the final season of Stranger Things, but if you'd like to see more Platinum videos, you can click on screen to see another video by me.